Hi, and welcome back to the Sweet Makings Knitting. If you don't know me, hello, welcome. My name is Manon, and here I share everything about knitting, crochet, sewing, or anything else that I love. So if you're looking for a knitting or crafting buddy, welcome here. And today I first want to say hi. How are you? It's been a long time, a very, very long time. I'm so happy to be back. Many things have changed since the last time we talked and I filmed. I moved. That's a big one. So yeah, our family moved towns because my husband is in the French Air Force and he had a new job, so we had to move. I'm going to make a life update at the end of the video because I know that most of you are here for the knitting and crochet and crafting in general. So I'm going to begin with that, and afterwards I will make a life update. And also, if we still have time, because I feel like this video is gonna be very long, I will do a little update on what I read, because I read a lot of good stuff. So yeah, let's go on. I have my notes here because there are so many things and I'm so excited that I don't want to miss anything. So if you see me looking at my knees, it's normal. It's because I have my notes here. So let's start with the finished objects. And the first one that I want to show you is the Semper sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl. So this was a whip that I had before I stopped filming. So here it is. Very beautiful sweater. So I started this one right after Christmas. I remember this was on the last video I filmed. The last one was more than 6 months ago, can you believe it? So I just can't, again, so many things, but yeah, I really love this sweater. It's huge and I wanted it to be huge. I chose to knit the masculine size, the masculine fit, sorry, and I chose to knit the size 5, and I followed the recommended needle size, which was a 4.5 millimeter needle, and I didn't swatch. I just wanted to cast on because I really loved how it looked, and I'm quite a lazy person, so I just didn't want to swatch. So I cast this one on and it turned out to be huge. But that's what I wanted. I wanted a very large, comfy sweater, which I could wear if I just want to be comfortable at home, or I want to go out, but I don't want to make any effort, but I still want to be cozy. And this sweater actually had a lot of success within my friends, and I remember I was knitting it in class when I was following my course to become a librarian, and my friends, my classroom mates, were all very excited about how it looked and how it would turn out. So it was really the game of like, what is it? How is it going to look like on the next day of class? Because I would work on it in between, and yeah. So I have very good memories with this sweater. I used Holstgarn Supersoft, which is one of my favorite yarns, in the colorway Lime. So I don't know if you've ever purchased green yarn online. I don't know if it's only Holstgarn problem or if it's everywhere, but at first I wanted a pistachio green, and so I went ahead and bought the dark apple green, which really looked like a pistachio green online, but then I ended up with an army green, so I sent it back and I took the lime one. So if you want a pistachio green, you have to go for lime, just saying, in case you like this color. So yeah, I put some, I don't know how you call it in English, but it's like some vessel buttons, maybe navy buttons, I don't know. But yeah, these long shaped buttons. which I bought on Amazon, I think, because I just couldn't find anywhere else some buttons that were like I was looking for. I didn't find the design I wanted, and also sometimes you have to buy like 15 or 20 buttons, and I just don't have any need for that much. So I found online an Amazon button link, and there were 5 of them. It's olive wood, so it's a really, really nice wood. I washed it and I blocked it with this on, and it didn't, the wood didn't move at all, so it was a great purchase. I'm very happy about that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this sweater. I'm very happy. I really loved the pattern. It was really easy to follow. I feel like the Knit Girl is really good at making very easy to follow patterns, very clear with a lot of instructions. Some people might say a little bit too much. Sometimes even to my liking, I feel like it's so many details, but then you are absolutely sure that you will be able to achieve the look that you're looking for and that you saw on the photos. So yeah, very happy about this one. Now on to the second finished object, and I'm going to show you a very, very, very old whip that I finally finished. It's not blocked yet, but this is the Playful Palette sweater by Kutova Kika. So it's a pattern that was published in her book Knit to Wear. I have it here. It might be on the wrong side, but I think you can still see what I'm talking about here. And I fell in love at first sight with this pattern in this book, and I really recommend this book. I bought it because I was a fan of her work and I wanted to support her. This was the first motive, but then I began to knit patterns that were in this book, and to me it's like my go-to book for basic timeless knitwear. To me it's the perfect knitwear book, so I strongly recommend. She also is very, very good at explaining how to knit stuff. And so I think, was it my first color work? I think this was my first color work sweater. And can you see how gorgeous this looks? I still can't believe I made this one. So I chose a very colorful palette of colors because I wanted it to remind me of Mali, where I went for work. I came there to work for 4 months, and I fell in love with the colors of this country. It was incredible. People there were incredibly nice and welcoming persons, and yeah, I just wanted to have kind of a wintry memory of this time in Mali. So I made this this sweater. I knit a size, it was L, large, so it's the size 4, and I used the recommended needle size, which is 4.5mm needles, and I also didn't swatch, and it turned out to be absolutely perfect for my sizing. So I just can't wait to block it. It might need just a little bit of stretch here because of the color work, but I think with blocking it's going to be perfect. And also I have the correct amount of ease here, so it's exactly how I wanted it to be. So I just have to weave in my ends, and then it will be finished. And I used Plötulopi by Istex, and I will put the colors in the description because I don't remember which one it was. But I just want to warn you that I really love unspun yarn, but Plötulopi is very, very rustic. So I don't mind because I don't itch easily. But if you tend to itch, I really don't recommend this yarn for you. I think Nutiden is a much better choice, and I'm going to talk about that later in the video. They both have pros and cons, but this one is very rustic, so I wouldn't recommend if you tend to itch a lot. So yeah, that's the Playful Palette sweater, my second finished object. I think this is going to be a mess at the end of this video, so bear with me. And let's move on to my third finished object. And I fell in love with this pattern instantly when I found it and I had a look at it. And it's a pattern from Andrea Maury, and it's the flock vest, which I made with the remaining yarn I had from my Semper sweater and also from my Lucy cardigan, which I test knitted for the Knit Per Girl, and I had a lot of yarn remaining, so I made this little vest. So it has no sleeves, like this, and this is the back. And I just have to put the buttons on, but with the moving thing, I lost the buttons, so I just have to find them again, and then I will be settled, and this will be finished. I would love to put some buttons on, because I want to wear this very soon. I'm going to tell you afterwards, but yeah. So this vest flew off my needles, literally. The other whips that I showed you, I took maybe 6 months or 6 months to a year and a half for these 2 whips to finish. This one I think was on my needles for a month, maybe a month and a half, so it was very quick on my knitting timeline, and it was really engaging. I didn't think it would be this engaging, but the way that the rows are made is that, so you have, I don't want to give out the pattern, but basically you have so a big stripe here, and then you have one row of the second color, one row of the third, and then one row of the second. And the technique that I thought was really clever is that when you knit the first contrast color and then the second, if you wanted to continue as you go with the first contrast color again, you would have to cut your yarn and then begin with another strand of yarn. And what she did is that she just makes you slip all your stitches back to the beginning of the circular needle, and then she makes you continue knitting like that. So you don't have to cut your yarn, and you just carry your yarn across the border, and so when it's finished, it doesn't bother you when you wear it, but it looks so neat from the outside. And I've never seen this kind of technique before, but I think it was very, very clever. So yeah, I really love it. It's so beautiful, and I'm in love with this pattern. I knit this with the recommended needle size, which was 4.5mm needles. I chose to make, I think, I haven't written it, but I think it was the size 4, if I remember correctly. And I am very lucky to have my favorite designer that has, Andrea Maury is my favorite designer, I think, and she has the exact same knitting tension as I do. So I know that I don't have to swatch when I knit something that she knits, because I'm going to be on gauge, which is amazing. So yeah, I didn't swatch and it turned out perfectly, and I don't have any scrap yarn left of the green yarn. I literally had like 1 meter left when I casted off this vest. So I have no scrap yarns, no green scrap yarns. I'm sorry, I have a flying object here, which is bothering me. But yeah, I am so happy with how this turned out, and I love it, and I truly recommend the pattern. If you have some stash busting to do, this is really the way to go. Really, I love it. So yeah, that's all for my knitting finished object. I have a crochet finished object, but it's a gift for someone. So Claudia, if you are watching this, I will put time like here of where you can when you can switch the video to, so that you don't see your gifts unless you don't want the surprise, and it's completely fine. So I'm going to fetch it and I'll come back. Okay, so I wanted to make a gift for Claudia because she very, very kindly sent me some yarn that she had in her stash and that she had no use for. And so I wanted to thank her because I didn't have to buy the yarn, and she also sent it to me from the US for free, so this was really so kind of her, and I just wanted to give her a little something back. So I didn't want to crowd her stash more than she had, because she gave me some yarn, so I imagine she maybe doesn't have any room for other yarn. So I decided to crochet her something instead, and I made her this shawl, this crochet shawl. So this is the Montego Shawl by Teal Yarn Crafts, and it's a very, very big flowy shawl which I really fell in love with. I think this would be the kind of simple yet pop of color type of thing that Claudia would wear, hopefully. And yeah, so I crocheted this with Phildar cotton. It was called ecocoton, but it's a yarn that's not sold anymore, and that's a shame because I think you can see and not feel, but kind of see the drape on this shawl, which is incredible. And she lives in a place which is quite warm, so I thought this could be of use to her for maybe summer nights, or if there is a little bit of fresh air going on, which would be quite rare maybe where she lives. I don't know. I don't know US climate that much, but that's what I can guess from her videos. So yeah, I hope I'm correct, and I hope she will like this shawl. So I crocheted this with a 5mm hook, and again didn't swatch and I think I kind of met the recommended size, and Tony from Teal Yarn Craft has such a gift for crochet patterns, and this is a pattern with written instructions, so you don't have any chart to follow, and I find this very easy to follow written instructions. I'm much more comfortable with this kind of instructions, so I really enjoyed working on this. I think this took me like maybe 2 weeks of work, and I used 5 balls, I think, of cotton, and yeah, I really like the result of this shawl. I might even make one for myself because I really like how it turned out, and yeah, so I hope she will like it. This will go in the mail probably tomorrow to the US, and I have to write her a little letter to come with it, and then it will go in the mail. So yeah, hopefully she likes it. And there's still another knit project too, actually, that are finished objects. that I didn't mention. And so this will be the occasion for me to transition into my work in progress because it's not finished. But Claudia sent me this beautiful yarn, which is Spincycle Nocturne yarn. It's incredibly beautiful, and it's very, very hard in France to put your hands on some Spincycle yarns. They ship to France, but the shipping cost is so high that it's really not worth it to buy some yarn unless you buy an incredible amount of yarn, and this yarn is very expensive. It's not in my budget. And she very kindly sent me 3 skeins of this beautiful Nocturne Spincycle yarn. And so yeah, I wanted to make a winter set to go outside, and so I made a second hipster hat with this beautiful yarn. I hope you will see it correctly because I feel like the lighting is not very nice, but yeah, I'm very sorry about this flying buddy that I have here. So yeah, this is I'm not going to put it on because I fear that my hair won't cope with this. But yeah, the hipster hat is a pattern by Petite. I've already made one with alpaca and camel yarn, but as you can see, it's totally lost its shape. So I'm thinking I'm going to frog this one and knit it again with maybe a linen strand or mohair strand to put with it in order for it to hold its shape better, because I like this color, but I wanted another color for a winter set. So this is what I made. So the hipster hat, like this. And I wanted also to make a scarf or shawlette. So I really liked the Traveler shawl from Andrea Mowry, by Andrea Mowry, but the problem is I didn't have enough yarn for it, so I just self-drafted an inspired shawlette. So basically I casted on like maybe five stitches here, and then I made an increase every 2 rows, every other rows, and I still have to block it, but my goal is when it will be blocked, hopefully I can stretch it a little bit, and then I will put it and wear it like that. And it will be a nice shawlette to go with my hat. So yeah, this is the plan. And so I casted those ones on and off in the spring. And I knitted on this one when we went to Amsterdam with my husband. We had 4 days in Amsterdam, and it was very, very nice day. And I have brought back some yarn from there, so I'm going to show you. But this is what I finished, and this brings me to my first WIP. So let's switch to the work in progress. And the first work in progress that I have is the Tinsel mitts by Andrea Mowry. So this is the 3rd item in my winter set. So here is the first one that is not completely finished, and I'm going to show you why. So I bind it off. So I first went with the open mitts. So here I knitted it with the recommended needle size, which is the 3.5mm needle. Oh no, I think it's the 4mm needle, so I sized up. Yes, that's it. I made the biggest size because I wanted to size up, because I wanted to have the same gauge than my hipster hat and my shawlette. So I stayed on the hipster hat needle size, which was recommended, and then I made every other item regarding this gauge. So this is what it looks like. So to me it looks really nice, but I still have a teeny tiny bit of yarn left, this much, which is not a lot, but I think it will be enough for me. So this is the second one. I really like that they're not the same color because of the way the yarn stripes, but I really, really love this little difference. I think this is really cute and cool, and nobody would have two different mittens because it seems crazy, but I really like it. And so I finished actually the mittens. As you can see, there's still the ribbing on, and I cast it off. Then I continued on my shawlette for it to be the correct size, and then when I had a sufficient amount of centimeters here, I cast it off and realized that I still had yarn left. So what I decided to do is to rip back the bind off here, and I will rip back the ribbing, and I will continue my mittens so that I switch from this model to the full size mitten, so the complete mitten which will be closed on the top. Because I moved to Normandy in France, which is in far northern France, so it's a very cold and windy climate because it's close to the sea. So I would like my mittens to be gloves, so that, not gloves because there won't be fingers, but full mittens, closed mittens, because I want to be warm and I want to be able to wear this all winter long, and I feel like if I have open mittens I won't be able to do that. So are you serious? Oh my god, I just can't with this anymore. Anyway, yes, so this is my current whip. I weighed this and it works. I will have maybe like 5 or 10 grams remaining, more 5 than 10. I think this is 18 grams. So it will take me 13 grams to finish my 2 mittens. I will keep the open thumb because I don't mind having an open thumb. And yeah, I will finish these mittens. And I'm so happy and I can't wait to have them finished. And I will have my full-on winter set. So this was a very long explanation. So I hope you're still with me. And we're going to continue on my second whip. So what am I going to show you now? I'm going to show you this one. So this may remind you of something. This is the beginning of a pressed flowers cowl, which is exactly the same color as the one that I had previously. And the thing is, I lost my first one and I loved it so much that when I realized I had enough yarn left, the exact same yarn left in my stash to make another one, I just thought, okay, I'm going to cast on another one and make another one. So thankfully I wrote everything I did for this cowl on my Ravelry page. So if you want to make one that will look like this one, my Ravelry will be here, and you can go on and check my pressed flowers cowl project, because I self-drafted something based on the pressed flowers shawl pattern, which is the one I purchased. And I just wanted to have the amount of flowers that was in the middle of the shawl, but all around in a cowl kind of setup. And I wanted a short cowl with just a twist in the middle. And so I just basically modified the pattern to knit in the round in mosaic knitting, and then to make a cowl that would be just the right amount of centimeters. And yeah, so I have kept every number and calculated everything. So yeah, I'm very happy that I did that. I don't do this much. I think this is one of the only projects which I wrote about on Ravelry, and I'm so grateful that I did it because I'm able to make another one and I'm so happy. So yeah, we're gonna see how this looks in the end, but I'm very happy about this one. I'm using a 4mm needle and I'm following the pattern, so I strongly recommend that you buy this pattern if you like the how it looks, because it's a very beautiful pattern. And yeah, I really love how this looks, and yeah, I'm in love with it, and I'm so happy I'm able to make it again. The yarn is not sold anymore. It was some Greek Pima cotton, organic Pima cotton, which the Athenian Maker hand dyed herself, and this was such a great couple of colors, and I think they match really nicely. And I was inspired by the color choices of Casey from Young Folk Knits. Oh my god, it's been so long. I've been so far from this crafting community that I don't even remember my favorite podcaster. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been knitting. And another whip that I have here is a headband that I am making for my mom for Christmas. So I don't think she will be watching this video, but just in case, Mom, I would like you to not watch this little part and skip 2 to 3 minutes ahead, hopefully. So yeah, I decided to make a headband. So this is how it's going to look. This is going to be the width of the headband. The motif is inspired by the Night and Day cowl by Andrea Mowry. It's a pattern that I've knit for my mom for her last Christmas, and she absolutely loved it. I knitted it with the same yarn, so this is Holstgarn Supreme Tweed. I don't remember the colorways, but it's like a light blue and a white. Everything will be in the description box below if you want to make the same. So basically I just took the motif back, and I made her already a pair of mittens that I'm very bad at taking photos of the gifts that I gift people, so I don't have any photos of what I made. But I also wanted to make her a complete winter set, and as she doesn't wear any hats, I made her a headband. So this is a big rectangle that I made, and then I split here because I want to make both two bands here that I'm going to reverse, and then I will knit back a big rectangle. It's a little bit more complicated than this, but basically that's what I want to do in order to have a band with a twist on the head, and hopefully it would look nice, and I will be able to give it to her on Christmas. I'm doing this very, very early this year because I realized that I really like knitting on accessories during the summer, and so this was the perfect excuse to knit on winter gifts, Christmas gifts. So yeah, this is what I'm making for my mom, and I really love this motif, and I'm so happy that she loved her cowl, and I gave her the mittens for her birthday, which was in February, but I was only able to see her in April, so she didn't have the time to wear them before the nice weather came in. So she will be wearing the mittens hopefully from October on, and she will have this headband to go skiing with her companions. So yeah, I'm very happy. She will have her full-on winter set to go skiing. So this is great. I'm happy about it. So yeah, this was another whip. Another one. We will move on to sweaters now, because this was only accessories. So I want to show you the first sweater. Was it here? I'm trying to organize my knits because this apartment is slightly smaller than the house where we lived before. And so I have to be sure that we have enough space to live, because I can't live with just my knits. It's not possible. So yeah, I'm working on the Glacial jumper by SaskieCo, and this is how it looks like. So this is something that I casted on this spring, and it has a really nice look to it. I wanted this to be a low contrast project, so I bought Nutiden yarn. This is Nutiden, so it's an unspun yarn. I'm going to show you how this looks. So this is an unspun yarn, and I wanted low contrast, so I bought a very pale rose and a mauvey, slightly darker rose. So this is the dark one. I don't have the light one here, but you saw it on the sweater. And I was worried when I cast this on, because there are flakes, like pale flakes in the dark yarn, as you can see here, for example. And there are dark flakes in the pale yarn. So when I cast this on, I first did the color, was very, very happy with it. And then I switched to the color work. And I don't know if you can see, but here, this is very blurry because of the contrast and the flakes. The yarn was creating kind of a blurry motif, and so I began to be very afraid that this was not going to turn out as I wanted. So as I got afraid, I was like, do I frog? Do I continue? I don't know what I want to do. So I just decided to put this aside and wait. So I worked on this until maybe March or April, something like this. And then I just stopped working on it, put it aside, and waited to see what I wanted to do with it. I'm sorry if I look outside, but it's very, very windy, and I have my linen drying outside, and I just hope that they won't fly off my balcony. So anyways, so I finally I began to work on this again after we moved, and I'm very happy I didn't give up on this project, because I really love how it's looking. I was afraid that the yarn was not right. I was afraid that the color was not right for my skin tone, for the contrasts and everything, but it looks so great, and I'm so happy with it right now. So yeah, I finished the color work, and as I didn't swatch for this model, I made the mistake of not swatching for this one, and I used the recommended needle size, I think, which is a 4.5 millimeter needle. I have them on so I can check. And the problem is I'm knitting a size 5, and I think I have a way looser gauge than Weischen from SaskieCo. That's the name of the designer. And I think she has a much looser gauge than I have. And so I ended up having finished the color work, and I felt like this was going to be way too tight in the underarms, and so I thought this is not going to make it. So what I did was I took my calculate. I took something to calculate with, and I did my math, and I added 2 round increases on every 5 centimeters. So I made one just right after the color work, and I made another one just before I split for sleeves. And I did it respecting the ratio that was going on in the pattern. And I feel like this really saved the day for me, because I have the ease that I was looking for, and the sleeves are going to be large enough. And when I split for sleeves, I slightly modified the ratio on where to split, because I felt like the sleeves were still a little bit too tight to my taste, but I had plenty of ease on the body. So I slightly modified the way I split for sleeves, and I think the fit is perfect now. So I'm very happy, and this is the first time that I felt confident enough to do this. So I really feel like this beginning of the year has taught me a lot of things, and I feel way more comfortable when knitting, and when encountering problems, I feel like now I have the skills to actually do something about it and resolve the problem without having to begin again from the beginning. And I'm very, very happy about that. And I'm very, very proud of the progress I made. I didn't realize, I think, the amount of progress that I made these past years when I was knitting. And I'm very, very happy that this worked out. So yeah. So about the pattern, this is a pattern from her book, which is here. This is Arctic Knits. This is her first book. I think she also has Saskie Knits that she published last year, and this one is from 3 years ago, I believe, something like that. And I really, really love her patterns. This is the Glacial jumper, which I'm knitting. And I really love her patterns. She has incredible patterns, incredible motifs. And also the photos are really nice. So yeah, I love this book so much. But I have to remind myself that unlike some other designers like the Knit Per Girl or Andrea Maury, my gauge is completely off when it comes to her designs. So I really have to be careful when I make one of her patterns. And I can't relate to the ease that's written in the patterns, because I never get the ease that I want when I knit one of her patterns. So to me, it won't prevent me from knitting another one of her patterns, but I really have to be conscious about that. and take the right steps before I cast on to be sure I don't have any problems and any bad surprise. And also, one thing that I learned is you really have to check the yoke depth when you begin to knit a pattern, the arm circumference. These are things that I wasn't really looking at before. I was only looking at, like, you know, chest circumference, the length, and the ease that I was supposed to get. But I didn't understand how the yoke depth would really change the fit of a garment. So yeah, this is what it taught me, and I'm really happy about it. And now I will be less anxious to begin to knit one of her patterns, because I know that I can fix it if it's not working out as I want. So yeah. On to the next whip. So I believe, yes, I believe this is my last knitted whip. So I am watching the Knitting Traditions podcast, and Inga, I really love what she knits. It's not always to my taste, and she knits so fast that I just can't keep up with everything that she knits. But something that really stayed in my mind was the Maisie cardigan. I don't remember the designer, so I'm going to put everything here, but I truly fell in love as soon as I saw this cardigan. So I wanted to knit one. The story behind that is that I would like a cabled cardigan, like quite intricate and difficult, but there was this very huge book club cardigan hype going on, and then there was the, I don't remember, it's a pattern by Petite Knit that was also going on, and it kind of eclipsed, I feel, every other kind of cabled cardigan pattern that was out there. And I don't know, none of these two patterns were really to my taste. So I thought that I just wanted a simpler cardigan. I found a simpler cardigan, which is in Lane magazine number 26, if I remember correctly. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to knit this cardigan. But then I found the Maisie cardigan, which Inga was knitting on, and I totally fell in love with it. But I think I didn't realize how difficult this was going to be. To me, that's a very difficult pattern. Not in the way that it's difficult to understand the pattern, because the designer made really great explanations, and the pattern is huge and you have a lot of pages, so that can be quite intimidating. So what I did was, for this project, I really wanted to swatch, because it would help me know the charts better and everything. So I had this beautiful yellow Nutiden yarn that I bought a year ago, I think. I wanted to knit the Button Me Up cardigan with this one, which was a stockinette cardi, so not a cabled one, just stockinette cardi. But I lost interest in this project, and so I was wondering what I would do with this yarn. And when I saw her knitting the Maisie cardigan, I knew that I had found my match. So I swatched, and this is what the swatch looks like. So I swatched with the recommended needle size, I think, which was a 4mm needle here, and my gauge was completely off. So then I swatched with 3.5mm needles, and I was correct before blocking, but then when I blocked, I still had 3 to 4 stitches more than I should have. So I think the gauge recommended is 36 stitches. So I had like 28 here, 32 here, and so I decided to stop swatching and to cast on with 3mm needle, which gave me the exact good amount of stitches. I checked my gauge recently and it works perfectly, so I'm very happy about it. Even the raw gauge is correct, so I'm very happy. And I cast it on, and so this is very small. This is what it looks like. So you can see that there are just the beginning of the cables going on here. And so this is my nighttime while my husband is geeking. I'm knitting on this, and this is a very slow pace for me because as a mom of a 2-year-old, I can't knit on this while she's awake and I play with her and everything. So I wait until she's asleep before I knit on this, and I find myself very eager to knit on this at night. On the nap time, I have another project which I will be talking about soon. But yeah, this is my nighttime project. So maybe I will take 2 years to finish this cardigan, because I knit like 3 to 4 rows every night. So I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I don't mind having a very slow project, and I think that the result will really be worth the wait and the work, because I think this is going to be a stunning cardigan when it's finished. So I can't wait to see how this turns out. So this is my last knitting whip, and I have some crochet whips which I will show you right now. If you're not a crocheter, or you're not interested, I may put here the timeline where you can go to see the acquisition parts. And yeah, so the first whip is a very, very simple whip. It's huge but simple. I'm self-drafting a cover, a throw, to put on my couch so that we can just snuggle under this as a family when the winter will be here, because winters are cold where we live now. So this is how it is so far. So basically I'm making a very, very big granny square until I don't have any yarn left, and I'm knitting from this big yarn cone, which looks big, but actually it's already halfway empty. So this is some yarn from Laine Paysanne. This is a very rustic raw yarn. You can even have some kind of speckles, hay speckles in it. So yeah, very, very rustic. But once it's knit up, crafted up, crocheted up in something and washed, it really becomes soft with the time. And I think this will be a very nice blanket for everyone to be just snuggled under at night. And yeah, so I'm very happy about this one. The goal of making this throw is that I wanted to use all the yarn that I have left on this color. This is a yarn that I got maybe 2 years ago or something from a stash that my sister had. She had a clothing brand which sadly didn't make it, and she had this huge yarn stash that she no one wanted to buy, which to me is crazy, but anyway. And yeah, nobody wanted it, and it was great quality, and I just couldn't let it go to the trash or anything. And yeah, even donating, I feel, wasn't an option maybe because it was her company, and so maybe she wasn't able to donate. I don't know any financial detail about that, but I decided to buy it. And yeah, so I have 2 more cones of this yarn, which is way more than I can have use for, but I think maybe with time I will get to finish them. I also have 2 cones of white, like beige yarn, cones like that. These are 2-kilogram cones, so they are huge, but I think this will make a beautiful blanket for the couch, and with the beige one I might do a throw for our bed. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, this is my first crochet whip. I'm also working on a very fun little crochet whip, which is kind of like an amigurumi style. I don't know if you could put that in that category, but I'm making a plush for my daughter, and I'm making the Graceful turtle, which is a pattern I found on Etsy. And it's this very, very cute turtle, which is not too small, because I didn't want her to have too small of a plush, but I wanted her to have a not too big turtle either, so that she can carry it when she travels or anything. And so I have here, this is the back of the turtle, I would say. So yeah, this is how it looks so far. I have the head here, and I have the 4 little paws. So these are little circles that you fold in half, and you have the paws. And I have this little tail here. So I am working on the belly. I have this much of the green, light green yarn left, and then I'm going to finish and assemble it with the dark green yarn. So this is also the Phildar ecocoton, which I used for the Montego Shawl. And yeah, I'm happy because this is a stash busting project, but also a very heartwarming project for me, because my daughter loves turtle. I think turtles are her favorite animal. And when I began to crochet on this and I finished the back of the turtle, she recognized I was working on a turtle, and I was stunned by how smart this was, how clever. I was like, how can you guess it's a turtle at 2-year-old? I don't know, but I think this was, I was just so surprised to see how far she's going at such a young age. Like, young children really amaze me in general. So yeah, this was my daughter, so I was like, wow, oh my god. So yeah, so now each time I work on this or I crochet anything, she's like, turtle, turtle? And I'm like, yeah, it's coming, I'm working on it. So yeah, this brings me so much joy to work on this, and it's almost finished, so I'm very happy about that. And lastly, the last whip that I want to show you is a bandana. So actually it's called a shawl on the pattern, but I want to use it as a bandana when I'm done. And so this is how this looks so far. So this is the Judith, oh no, this was supposed to be scarf. So this is the Judith scarf by Phildar. And this is a crochet pattern that I found online. Actually, I stumbled upon a video on YouTube, I will put it here, where I saw a very beautiful triangle, crochet triangle on the miniature. And I was thinking, wow, this is a beautiful bandana. And actually it's it's like a decoration to put on top of a skirt. Like I've never used this kind of garment before. I know that it exists, but I didn't know it was a thing in France because I never saw anyone wear that. So I was like, I just have to know what's this triangle. I looked at her bio and I saw this pattern, so I thought it's a really nice one. It was with a big flower, and I thought it would be really nice as a bandana. So I wanted to crochet this one, but then when I was looking at the details of the pattern, I stumbled across the Judith scarf, and I was like, this is the perfect project. So this is what I made so far. I'm crocheting with this with the recommended crochet size, which is a 3mm. And this is the first crochet project that I am making, which has actually a chart and not much instructions on how to make it. You just have to actually know how to read the chart and make it. So it was quite challenging, and I didn't think it would be this easy, but I just decided to trust the process and go on with it. And I have been working on it for 2 or 3 days, I don't remember, and this is what I have so far. So I'm thinking, not bad. It's okay. So yeah, I am waiting to see how it will look when it's finished, but I think this is going to be a nice bandana kind of thing. And also I'm thinking I could try to put this on the skirt and see how it's looking. I'm sorry, I had to take a little break because I didn't have any room left on my phone. So now we're gonna switch to acquisitions, and I have very few things to show you, but that I really like. So the first thing I want to show you is yarn. So there it is. We went to Amsterdam with my husband this spring, and I just wanted to have a little memory, and also I wanted to do a little yarn tourist thingy. So yeah, I just went looking for yarn shops to see what was happening in Amsterdam, and there was 3 of them. And in the first one, which was my favorite in the end, I found this really, really beautiful Malabrigo yarn. I hope you will be able to see the vibrant color on this one. So this is a very vibrant purple, and so this is lace in the color Sabiduria, and 136 is the color, the exact color. And this is a lace weight baby merino yarn, 100% baby merino, non-superwash. And I decided to buy 2 of these skeins because I saw a shawl in this store that I totally fell in love with, and it was a crochet shawl. I thought it was knit at first sight, but when I looked at it more closely, it was crochet. So this is the Judith scarf, and no, it's not the Judith scarf, I'm sorry. This is the Blossom Shawl by Marcella Merks. So she's from the Netherlands, and she is a local designer there, and her patterns only sell in Dutch. So I bought the yarn to be able to buy the pattern, because you can only buy the pattern if you buy the yarn, and I fell in love with it. So I found this yarn to make it, and I love the pattern, but it's in Dutch. So I looked at it, and I don't speak Dutch, but I spoke, once upon a time, I spoke very well German, and I still can read it pretty well. And Dutch and German have some common points, so I'm actually able to decrypt the pattern. So I'm very happy about that. Thank you, secondary school, for that. And yeah. So I'm very happy to say that I will be able, hopefully, to make this shawl. And it's not a project for now because I have many things I want to work on, which I won't talk about in this video. It's way too long already. So I'm gonna make a video with my fall and winter plans. And I will talk about this, but this is in the future going to be a shawl that reminds me of Amsterdam, which was the first trip we had with my husband after we had Lucy, the first one, which was abroad, and yeah, where we were both together, because we never were both together since my daughter was born. So yeah, okay, so there's that. And the last one is not really an acquisition, it's a gift, and I am very grateful to my dad who gave me this book. He was looking for something. He and his wife, yes, were looking for something for my birthday, and I think they totally read me because they gifted me a knitting book with patterns. So this is, I think in English it's called Nordic Knits, and it's a book by Jenna Kostet. It's her second one. She already made one, and it's very, very nice. These are kind of mystical, traditional, I think it's Finnish knitwear, and yeah, the patterns are really, really nice. I didn't know about this designer before I was given this book, and it's really, really nice, and I love the different patterns. I'm in love with this one, which is a combination of cable and colorwork knitting on the sleeves. So yeah, very nice discovery. And what I mostly like about this book is that the designs are inspired from poems that are from Kalevala. So I don't know anything about mythic Scandinavian stories, but if I guessed well, the Kalevala are a list of poems that were written to talk about legends, Scandinavian legends. And so every design here is inspired from a poem from Kalevala. So I think this is quite poetic and very original. And yeah, I don't know at all how it's going to work out with this book. Now I'm always afraid that gauge and sizing and everything will be difficult, but we'll see, and I will talk about it to you when I will have tried a pattern, which I intend to in the following month, so stay tuned for that. So yeah, I think that's all for the crafting stuff. If you're not interested in my life, which I totally understand, I wish you a good week, and I will see you in the next one. And if you are interested into knowing what's going on with me, I will just make a slow little update here before I leave you with your weekday, night, or whatever you do. So yeah, so what happened during this 6 months plus? So there was a lot going on. So my husband learned that he was going to switch planes because he flies planes as a job for the French Air Force. And so in order to change plane, he had to move, and so we had to move, and we moved to Normandy in a small town which is called Évreux. And I'm very happy about it because I really like this new town. We've been here for a month and a half now. We almost have no box left whatsoever. Only some of my wool and other crafting stuff, because I don't have a knitting room anymore. The third room that we have is used for my husband's desk, because now he has to work from home in order to prepare his flights. So I don't have as much space as I had before, but I still found a place for almost everything. So I'm very happy about this, and that's why my goal is to stash bust as much as I can, so that I will make space and hopefully get my stash to be the correct size regarding where we are living. But it's I think it's quite a good problem because when you like crafting and sewing and knitting, it's a good problem to have too many yarn to work on, I think. So yeah, I don't have this too many, but I have a little bit too many, so I have to work on that. So yeah, that's what has been going on a personal level, and also on a working level. I got my diploma as a librarian, so I'm very happy about that. And the flying buddy also is. I don't know where it is, but yeah, it's here. And yeah, I'm very happy about that, very excited. But I realized while I was taking my courses, and also since I've got my diploma, that there are really not a lot of job available here. And the recruiting process is very, very long. So I've sent I've asked for 3 jobs, and I got a negative answer. I got an interview for another one, and I got no response from the third one. So the third one, they still have a delay, a timeline, so I may still be contacted. I don't know about that. But yeah, the first one they refused because they already have people that were working in the library job, kind of middle. And the problem is, in France, if you already have worked in libraries, it's easier for you to find jobs, because if you work for a certain amount of time, you then become enlisted as an official state librarian. So then it's easier for cities to actually hire you. I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm telling you, but there were 2 persons that already had this state librarian status who asked for the job. So one of them got it, which is normal. And so I didn't have it. So I had the recruiting people on the phone and told them that I was still available if they needed me. And so they asked me if some other job would be interesting to me, because there were several librarian jobs available, and I only asked for one, because this was the one that was, I think, the most reliable to what I know how to do. I don't know if that makes sense. But so yeah, I saw another job which I really loved too, but it was not my favorite, so I didn't want to jinx me by applying on 2 different jobs from the same hiring city. I don't know if if it's clear what I'm telling you. But yeah, so finally I decided to apply for this other job, and I got an interview, which will be on the 25th of August. So right now it's in 6 days. So I hope to have more information. But this hiring process has been going on with this city since May. So it's very, very long. It's kind of stressing to not know what you're going to be able to do in the next month, or if my diploma will even be of use, or of any kind of use. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. This is stressful, but that's how life goes. So I may not be able to become a librarian like I would like to, even if I succeeded in getting my diploma. So we'll see, and I keep you posted. And to me, it's a big deal because I love the librarian job, but also it's not a big deal because I'm very happy with my life right now, and I don't mind having another job. I like this one. I would like other jobs too, and the important thing for me is that I'm able to provide for my family, but also to spend time with my daughter. And so I've considered other options that I've already asked for interviews, and I've got another interview tomorrow. So we're gonna see how this goes, and I'm not afraid of not having a job. I think I will find one. It's no problem. But yeah, that's how things go. When my camera decided to die. I'm very sorry about that. I hope you really enjoyed this podcast. Tell me about all your crafting and what's going on in your life. I would be very interested to know about it. And until then, I will see you next time, and have a very nice rest of your day. Bye bye, crafties.